While we're all, of course, very eager, very excited, very happy to finally be able to get stuck in to the DLC for Dark Souls 3, the Ring City, the probably final DLC for the game, there of course is a lot of sort of speculation and discussion on what From Software have planned for the future. Now, there will be a video from myself on the Ring City probably in the next day or two. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. But in a recent interview with Weekly Famitsu, Hidetaka Miyazaki discussed a little bit about what they have planned for the future. Of course, FromSoft have made it no secret that they want to step away from the Dark Souls franchise for a while after they were done with Dark Souls 3, and also kind of hinted at moving away from that Soulsborne formula. You know, they have made Bloodborne in that time as well, but while it was a very different game in a lot of ways, it obviously followed a similar formula in terms of its difficulty and the mechanics and so on, and a few similarities that simply changed names like bonfires to lamps and so on and so forth. But in the interview with Famitsu, he again said that there are no further developments planned at the moment, at least, so again he seemed open to more DLC or updates in the future, but for now at least they're done, and I think, to be honest, it's the last we're going to see of Souls for at least quite a while. They seem to be looking to the future. But he also discussed a little bit about what exactly he would like to develop in the future. And he said, quote, "Since I've already started work on several, it would be a spoiler if I said something. One thing I can say is that our stance on game production has not changed. In making a new game, we're not being conscious of making something that resembles Dark Souls, or on the other hand, of making something that doesn't resemble Dark Souls. Not being concerned about whether it is similar to Dark Souls, I plan on making a game that I want to make now, and that is interesting and worthwhile." And to be honest with you, this is exactly the right attitude to have, in my opinion. Don't worry about, oh, is this going to be too similar to Dark Souls, or oh, is this going to be too different to Dark Souls? Just make a game that you want to make. I mean, that's what they did when they made Demon Souls, and obviously the original Dark Souls, which is really where it took off for a lot of people. And here we are, two games later from Dark Souls 1, or 3 if you count Bloodborne, which, to be fair, you technically could. And just by making the game that they wanted to make, they've been highly successful. And obviously they've improved and iterated upon that same formula, but it was from that central idea that at the time when it originally came out was very different, and still is very different. You know, Dark Souls is the master of this little genre that it's made for itself, or sub-genre should I really say. So, to be honest, I just want them to continue to be doing that. So, you know, I would be really, really happy if they made another Souls-style game, but maybe in a sci-fi setting or something like that. You know, sci-fi Dark Souls, sign me the hell up, because, you know, that sounds pretty amazing. But I would also be happy to see them return to Armored Core, which they have hinted at, and I would also be happy to see them try something completely new. With everything they've learned from the last few years of development under their hats, all the skills they've learned, take that, put that in a new IP, take some ideas from Dark Souls, or don't, whatever you think will work, and we'll probably all love it, because, you know, From Software pretty much always deliver. You know, even Dark Souls 2, which some would say is the weaker of the series, was still a really, really good game. It just wasn't as good as Dark Souls 1. So even when, you know, a game is slightly disappointing, it's still far superior to many games on the market at the time. Again, I would rather they do this and just make the game that they want to make, rather than worrying too much about the shadow of Dark Souls kind of overpowering whatever it is they want to make. You know, I wouldn't want to see a game that has Dark Souls mechanics shoehorned in when they really don't want to do that, because they're worried about, or fans are going to expecting Dark Souls style from us. You know, I don't think anyone wants that. As much as I want more Souls style games in different settings, I wouldn't want them to do it, English, if that's not the vision that they have. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they have planned for us, but I highly doubt we're going to see more than a teaser for a year or more, because of course they literally just released the final DLC for Dark Souls 3, and they're probably not ready to show us anything of their new game just yet. Probably next year, E3 2018, maybe we could see a teaser for what it is they're working on, but I think even that is sadly a bit optimistic. But I would love whatever they do, to be honest. They are definitely on my radar as a company that I want to keep on top of when it comes to their releases. You know, sci-fi Souls-style game, sweet. Something that's completely different to Dark Souls, cool. Armored Core return, yes, whatever. I'm there. And I'm sure many of you will agree with me when I say that. So Let me know your thoughts and opinions as to what you would really love From Software to get their teeth stuck into now that they're moving away from Dark Souls for a bit. Of course, many would love to see a return of Bloodborne, as would I, but I think they want to move away from that formula and stretch their development wings, as it were. But again, let me know your thoughts, your support is highly appreciated, and I'll see you next time.